All right, you guys, so I have a funny story to tell you, which is that basically I've decided that I want to do a lot more YouTube videos in the near future, just so that, you know, we have more content for writers who want to learn about the process. We can reach a lot more people. I just really decided that I want to make a lot more videos. My one problem, well, I shouldn't say my one, but one of the problems that I've been facing a lot over, well, the last couple of years, ever since I started filming, is that I am pretty reliant on having the sun out. You can see right now, like I'm facing my window, so I've got some light coming in from there. But the real problem is that I live in Washington State. And so if you guys know anything about Washington, like if you think, remember Twilight when all the vampires moved to Washington because there's no sun here? That was actually pretty accurate. So the other day, I got all my makeup on, I got dressed, I got the camera ready, I had everything ready to go so I could film my next 5-day mini challenge, or, you know, at least start filming it. And the sun wouldn't come out. Like, it was just behind 80 miles of clouds, and so the world never got light enough that I could actually film, and I kept trying to adjust the settings on the camera, and I do have lights. These are the lights that I used for the 60-day novel writing challenge. Typically, I have like an umbrella diffuser around them. I'll show you guys a picture so you can kind of see like what I'm talking about. But I didn't realize when I bought them that when you only spend $50 on lights or whatever it was, maybe 60, 75, it was definitely less than 100 for like a set of 3 lights. You're probably not getting the best quality lights in the world. They looked really cool and professional when I had the whole setup, you know, with the umbrellas. It looked like I was very legit, but the amount of light these things put off it just doesn't cut it. And when I was first starting out, you know, I would just turn them on and I'd look at the bulb and go, wow, that's really bright. And I'll show you guys. Oh wow, yeah, it is really bright. But if you actually look at the amount of light that it is putting off, like in comparison to the room, like look at that wall back there. It barely it barely does anything. And so even with 2, 3 of these on, it wasn't the level of light that you need in order to film good videos. So I would always have to wait for the sun to come out, and then I would supplement the sun with these lights, with the umbrella diffusers around them. Because you'll see, you can't just have this right up next to you. It's this super harsh light. So you have to put the diffuser on it, and you have to give it a little bit of space also. So basically, if the sun didn't come out, these were not enough to film with. So the other day when I set up all of my stuff and I was all ready to film, and I I'd practice what I was gonna say, came in here, and when the sun didn't come out all day long and I just missed that entire day of filming, I was so mad. I pretty much got on Amazon and rage bought $500 worth of lights. So I just want to show you guys what it is that I got so that I can kind of show you what the new studio setup's gonna look like. So if you notice that the videos start looking much brighter and more consistent, because that was the other thing, is even when the sun was out, if a cloud would pass over it, then the video would go dark, and then my camera would try to adjust, and then you just have this back and forth of the video getting brighter and darker and adjusting. And you know, it's not a huge deal, but to me, if I want to make a lot more videos, I want to be able to have a consistent light source. So these are the monstrosities that I got. I got 2 of these. It's called Newer? I don't really know. They're 18 inches and they are so bright. Guys, I already have the other one out of the package. Let me just hook this up really quick and show you the difference between this itty bitty little guy and what this thing can do. So anyway, the official name is a Newer, whatever it's called, Flapjack, an 18-inch one. And it has like all of these brightness settings, and then you can also choose whether you want to do warm light or cool light. So quick comparison, take a look at that back wall with this light on. Yeah, it doesn't do a lot. And then we're gonna try it with this light on. Oh, it's like daylight. You can actually turn night into day with these things, and I'm so excited about them. Look at that. The camera has to dim everything else to make up for how bright this is. That's pretty hilarious, actually. Like, it just goes to show how bright it is, though. And that is from like a fair distance back too. So I've got 2 of these that I'm going to be mounting to the ceiling, but I'm super excited to put these up. And then the next thing that I got was, I have not opened this one, the mounting hardware. I think the hardest part might just be getting it out of the box. So I've got everything up here that I need. I've got stud finder. Woo! See that? Well, I am going to go ahead and move the camera, pick a couple of spots on the ceiling, find some good beams to drill into, and we are going to put up my brand new lights and see what the difference is. To being handy, all it really takes, you guys, is a can-do attitude, the ability to read some instructions, and then just like a couple basic pieces of knowledge, like knowing that if you're going to be mounting anything anywhere, it has to go into a stud and not the drywall. As long as you know that, you can pretty much do anything. As long as you got a stud finder to tell you where the studs are, so you know you're not just hitting drywall, then you're good. The other thing is, this shows kind of how wide the stud is, and I can tell that it is way too narrow for both of these, if you guys can see them. It's way too narrow for both of these holes to both go into the studs, so what we have to do is make sure that one of the halves is lined up really, really well with the studs, and then the other half is just gonna go into the drywall. Okay, the other one thing I know about being handy is pilot holes. So this is taking a look at what size of screws you're gonna have that are going into the stud and drilling a hole kind of to guide them in. And there's different drill bits that do that. Look at me leading a channel on how to improve your home. Again, I'm not an expert on this at all. What in the world? Okay, I am gonna need a second to study these and figure out exactly what I'm working with here. It didn't come with instructions. Guys, that was like step 2, being able to read the instructions. It doesn't have any instructions. Okay guys, I have hit my first snag. I have no idea how this is gonna work because these bolts, they just have a letter A on the end here, if you can see that. So no way for me to drill them in, even if I do make a pilot hole. And they're round, so I can't use one of those. You guys know what I'm talking about. What's it called? Socket wrench. It's called a socket wrench. I don't have to know the names of tools to be able to use them, okay? But I am gonna go Google what the heck I'm supposed to do with this because I have no idea. But I do have a can-do attitude, so I will figure this out and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I looked up the instructions and it turns out that these are called expansion screws or expansion bolts. And I wanted to show you guys these wonderful directions and how helpful they really were. So we had installation method, using tool to make hole in the wall. Okay, I'm on board, I can do that. I can make holes in walls or ceilings, totally fine. Step 2, put the expansion with a T, put the expansion screws in the wall and fix it. Guys, fix it how? I don't have any letter A head screwdrivers, and I don't have any perfectly round socket wrenches that will work with a perfectly round surface. So I ended up, you know, like 3, maybe 4 YouTube videos later, I think I understand how these work. So basically, this part is not actually what you're trying to grab onto and screw with. You are actually just drilling a giant hole in your wall. Like, these are used for concrete is what I'm finding in all of these videos. They're like concrete anchors, but you basically drill a giant hole that this entire thing fits into, the large head included. And so then you drop the entire thing in, and then you use this outer casing, I'm sure it has an official name, but you like put it down over it, and then, this is my understanding, again, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, this is not what I was trained to do, but so this whole thing is then in the wall, and then when you use this to tighten it and screw it all down, it kind of like pulls this back through, which causes this end to butterfly out and expand and basically like grab the sides of the wall, and that is what anchors your stuff in place. And I find this terrifying. I have never worked with anything like this, and so I just went down to the garage and got my own screws because I don't want to mess with this. And you know, I am pretty confident in my abilities most of the time, but this just scares me too much. So I'm gonna use my own screws and do this the way that I know how, which is funny because the mountings do actually have these smaller holes in them also, as though they knew that we were going to have to do this instead of using the gigantic expansion bolts, which was a little bit crazy. So anyway, after those so helpful instructions, what did they say again? That said, put the expansion screws in the wall and fix it. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that part and do it my own way, and we'll see what happens. Going a little bit overboard, but I think I am going to put wall anchors on the second side just because I feel a little bit better about having something holding up the left side too, instead of putting all of the pressure on this right side with the stud. It's probably unnecessary, but you know what? I'm going to feel better if I do it. Washer's important. I feel like there's a reason they're here, but I don't need them. Oh my gosh, I feel like the comments below are gonna be like all the 1,000 things I did wrong, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm gonna have my lights mounted, and that is what matters. So this is just kind of like a two-way connector. So one side goes here, and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, right? Alright guys, so this is Haley and this is my new lighting setup. Well, almost. My second light isn't actually mounted, but I have it on a chair in roughly the place that it's going to be when I do finally get it put up. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick little test, see how this looks. My key light is mounted. I do have some lights behind me, which should be that whole rim light effect, although maybe I should actually face them more at me in order to make that happen. Gosh, they look so dim in comparison to the giant lights. Let me see if I can even turn them up at all. Nope, they are just super dim by comparison. And then I've got my little rinky-dink photo light. Anyway, so this is what it looks like with that fill light kind of far off. And then let me move it a little closer just to see if that maybe gives us more of what I'm looking for. More of that bright, well-lit effect. Okay, and then this is with that fill light moved quite a bit closer. Now it's just kind of like shining on the wrong things. See, I would never mount it over here, but if I were to, how would that look? I don't really know. It all looks the same to me. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording and see what it all looks like. Okay, so here is what the light looks like now that it's all mounted. And I can raise and lower it however much I need to. Obviously it's turned off right now. And now we're gonna go ahead and do the second one over on this wall. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually, and it also rotates. So I'm gonna face this towards that wall. And we're gonna see what a difference it makes when this light is on facing that wall. Whoo! Nighttime, daytime. All right. Show you the finished product because my desk is so messy, but I suppose I probably should. So there's light 1. I just face it towards the bookshelf, and then here is light 2, which is also facing the bookshelf now. They're mounted on the ceiling, and I will clean up those cords a little bit later, get them looking a little bit nicer. Look at that. Oh, so amazing. You can just tell how bright it is by how much the camera has to dim everything else by comparison. And voila! What do you guys think? Pretty cool, right? At least I think it is. I hope you guys agree. Thank you so much for joining me for the installation of my new studio lights. Man, are they ever bright. It's pretty awesome. I'm really in love with them. So yeah, I can't wait to be able to make videos now on rainy days and not have to worry about the fact that the sun isn't cooperating. So thanks again for being here, and hopefully the next time that we're doing this, I will have kittens, because these lights will also turn around actually and shine on the couch over here. Here, I'll show you. If I want to turn them around and shine them on the couch, it's super easy. They just pivot. And this one will pivot, and then we can do some videos on this couch too with the kittens, which I think would be super fun. We got this cat tree here just waiting for them. We just need kitties. They're just not here yet. So anyway, thank you again for joining me. This has been, I don't know, I feel like I do tons of this stuff all the time. I'm always setting up new equipment, new studios. So I thought that it would be fun to just include you guys on one of the setups, and this was it. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!